Good morning. It's November 1st. Survived trick or treat. So sad about those 3 children that got ran over by a car. that was sad. I just happened to watch that just a minute ago. I almost went to that Halloween party that one of the McCastle's offspring owns a bar. So I called over to one of the brothers and I was like, "Hey, are you going? Who's all going?" And the one reason why I don't like some of the Southern men is he's like, I'm like, what's gonna be doing? He's like, oh, and he always says, lose to sex, and I'm like, I'm not cool with that type of talk. He goes, well, you said something like you got out of the shower. What's different if I say do you have your panties on? And you can't explain to him what the difference is because he was brought up, to think that way, And I'm like, well, he goes, well, just get drunk and go get fucked. I understand a lot of the Southern women, they don't mind their life being a nightmare for somebody, a male, to have pleasure. But, you know what I'm saying? And first of all, this guy's been doing coke since, like 78. And he's 62 now. Cause he just got his Social Security, even though he's still working for himself a little bit. And but the women here, they think it's a competition with the men. The men think that all women, like let me throw like he was like dating this one girl, a crackhead girl, right? And I don't know, and like I'm not going behind her anyway, but like I guess and she's and they really super sweet, these crack prostitutes. They come out really super sweet, but she had a little house, she had a few stuff and everything, he sold anyway. Now he's supposedly clean for a few years, but the mentality and the thinking that he has, that what I'm saying, I see it a lot in this world. It's like like women are born to be tortured, and I mean that in by the sexual, what I'm saying over here. Like I was laughing, like what was it, Wanda Williams, that TV show she was talking about stilettos. She's the one person that does not know how to walk in heels. I could walk in heels. I choose not to, it's just that because I walk, and what I'm saying, you walk 2 or 3 miles a day. You can't walk in stilettos, but I wouldn't buy them anyway, even though I'm short. I got some heels that are sort of high, but I like a thick sole and a nice heel. A wide heel, not just a high heel. But anyway, so with the women being ejectized, what I'm saying, it's like I really don't want to go out anywhere here, what I'm saying, because in the situation, like there was like that girl that left that bar and she was in a university and they had pictures of her walking along. And a black guy coming up, and they arrested him. He was like, I guess he's a serial killer. Well, the thing about it is, if you're a female, and what I'm saying, you're not gonna get anybody help because they're like, oh well, what I'm saying. Even if they see somebody, like doing something that they wouldn't allow it to happen to their loved one, you look the other way because women get victimized twice. And I know guys that do too. I know guys that, like when they were young, they got raped, and the guy that raped them was telling them they're gay, because he's married and a church man or whatever. And and I know, like in our neighborhood when I grew up in Hell Kitchen, they brought all that out. Once they brought it out, and what I'm saying. But before women really to have healthy, smart children. What I'm saying? We gotta at least have a healthy surrounding. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't really like mess with any of the men here. You know what I'm saying? It's all about their gratification and their, you know what I'm saying? Uh, um, 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 and I see a lot of women here, like, in a minute, if a guy smiles at them, they flop on their back real quick and their panties fly off and they're spread eagle. You know what I'm saying? There's this one guy that used to cut my lawn, and I know for a fact the other guys he hangs out with. Well, I have, you know, that they, you know, they look at X-ray stuff together. They've been doing X-ray stuff, looking at X-ray movies together, masturbating together, and giving each other blowjobs together, right? And other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But he's basically, he ain't never worked. He just been in and out of jail, light skin, what they call good hair. Anybody with an afro could have good hair. It's just how you do your hair from the day one. You know what I'm saying? Black people now, the way we do our hair. Like me, I never comb my hair dry. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you ever take the thing out of a pen, the little spiral thing that, you know, it helps the pen go up and down. If you pull that, right, you can never get it to go back, right? But like, only time I comb my hair is when it's wet. I never use a brush because that breaks off black hair. You know what I'm saying? And when I comb, and I mean my hair has to be really wet, and I can style it afterwards. I'll comb it, I can style it afterwards. So I could, you know, I can put it. Hey, black hair is versatile. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just choose not. I'm just letting it go natural because of my age, and you get a certain age, you know, your hair doesn't do like it. A lot of things in your body don't do like it was when you were a teenager. You know, your skin, your hair, you know, it's just not the same. You know, but I, you know, like, I notice, and it's so, like, you know, you get this stuff where, you know, like, black people are jealous of other black people's hair. You know what I'm saying? And I see little kids where they start off, you know what I'm saying, with these tight little braids and all these barrettes. I'm gonna tell you something. I would cry if I had to sleep at night with all that crap in my hair. You know what I'm saying? I don't like tight braids. I just do this because when I take a shower in the morning, it's a lot easier, you know what I'm saying, to comb it out, you know. And then I have to have conditioner in my hair. Then I have to grease my end. I don't grease my scalp because I have all this skin, and my scalp has to breathe. That's like a lot of this stuff, you know what I'm saying. And another thing is, you're not even supposed to, like, tradition was, you're not even supposed to cut your hair but once a year, more than 1/4 of an inch. But females, like, you're not, like, boys, their first haircut, or no more than 1 inch. The boy's first haircut is not supposed to be the 2, and that's not more than an inch, unless you leave, like, they used to leave, like, the sides here in sort of, like, you know, a nice, you know, but you know what I'm saying? But if you try that, like the greenhouse effect, you know, where you get your hair wet and you put conditioner or oil, and you can use a different variety of oil. I have used everything from Vaseline to olive oil, which I don't like the smell of olive oil. You know, I prefer a heavy. The heavier, if the wetter your hair is, and the heavier, like, pressing grease or something, Murphy's or whatever that is, the heavier the grease on the ends, the more, and while it's wet, the more it'll hold the moisture, and it, you know, it'll keep that nice curl. You know, otherwise when you cut it out, when you comb it out, you know, you know, it's just like trying to comb out a spiral spring. Oh, that's what they call them, a spring. Anything that, because, like, kinky, I mean, everything that's associated with being, you know, a Negro has been negative. And let me tell you something. The kids are turning out to be negative now. You know, they're buying into that. It's like we have, the dark skins over here. You know, they bought into, I guess, dark skin's supposed to be ugly. That was my mistake with my first husband. My first one was black, and the second one was Arab, and the third one was white. But the first one, he was dark skinned. He was the same height as me, shorter than me. I'm like 5'3", 5'4". I like to say I'm 5'4". But anyway, and he's like 5 feet. And his whole thing was because he was dark skinned, and I didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? So you're less of a person because God kissed your skin a little longer. And then, but anyway, the worst thing about it is that I think what has happened to women around the world is criminal. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't breastfeed, so we have kids that don't have any. They're born in the world with no immune from all this crap we have in the world. Our diets is messed up. We put women in a situation where we're, like, a lot of us are working 40 hours, coming home, like, gotta cook, clean, and do everything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not with all that. I got enough work. I don't need another person around here to, what I'm saying, for the little bit of help that they could do. I'd rather hire somebody than have to put up with somebody that's, you know what I'm saying? They'll sit around and wait for you to get mad and just make something for themselves. Because you didn't get up and do for them what they could do for themselves. When I remember I was younger, why ask someone to do something you could do better for yourself? You know what I'm saying? You're just going to get mad. That first husband, his mom whooped him, and that man, for like, I don't know, when he started like having an affair with somebody else, you know what I'm saying, he gonna come and get mad at me and try to beat the fuck out of me. And I'll tell you something, don't mess with somebody cooking. I knocked him in the head with that I didn't even recognize my face when I finally went and looked in the mirror, but I knocked him out with a cast iron skillet. And let me tell you something, cast iron skillet, you hit somebody hard enough, that goddamn handle comes off. You end up with that handle. Don't be scared. Use the handle. Scrape, scratch, scrape, scratch. You know what I'm saying? Get off, back off. But I found out you can knock somebody out. That don't mean they fall. They just be looking at you all crazy. But anyway, I couldn't stay. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't my place to be miserable for some man to have his sexual gratification. Because I don't even understand, what do they care? You know what I'm saying? If you can sit there and masturbate to anything, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of these guys, they watch these X-rated things, and they don't think about it edited. It probably lasts 15 minutes, but you're looking at all this, edited, so, it could go to about 45 minutes or whatever. So now these guys think they gotta have sex for 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't look at X-ray, because when I was younger, they used to say, that most of the X-rated movies that was on 42nd Street, you were actually just looking at rape. So if you think you're learning something by looking at X-rated movies, you're learning how to be like a rapist. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, he's been doing coke for so long, all he want to do is play with somebody's titties or something. I don't like to be with my titties fondled with, okay? I don't, you know what I'm saying? It don't do nothing for me. Matter of fact, it aggravates me. You know what I'm saying? He used to come up and pinch my titties, and I used to punch him. He goes, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" And then I saw him do it to another girl, like to show me, like, it's okay, and she smiled. So I started pinching his titties. He's like, "Ah, what's wrong with you?" He still want to know what's wrong with me. I'm like, "I'm pinching your titties. Don't that get you excited?" He talking about, "You trying to bruise me darker than me." I'm like, "Bitch, I'm light skinned. So if you pinch on my titties and you think pain is getting me excited, you're wrong." You know what I'm saying? I don't like pain. Pain has always been an indicator to me that there's something that needs to be fixed. Like if I fall and I get a pain in my leg or something, or you know what I'm saying, I'm going to check, a cut, scratch or something. Pain doesn't indicate something good behind it. You know what I'm saying? And I see how they, if you in a double-binding, hypocritical Southern Christian society as we in, where they like, oh, we have to have abstinence, but the one that's screaming abstinence, the preacher or whatever, is having sex with your little kids, and then you see them on TV, and you got, you know what I'm saying? Like, you even have guys, like, I did something about Honey Boo Boo, and I think it's sad. Children do need rights. You know what I'm saying? At that age, if you haven't gone to puberty, I don't care if you're a boy or a girl, if you haven't gone to puberty, you have a different mindset. You have that of a child, and when a grown-up comes in there, like I hear some of the guys talking about, oh, I wish my teacher had sex with him. Well, have you ever had to deal with a grown man that had sex with an old ass lady? You know what I'm saying? When he was 15, had to have sex with someone. You know what I'm saying? Their whole idea is like, they're useless. You know what I'm saying? They get more crazier than the women, because like children at that age, they do what the adults do and they act out. Like it's just like this other guy, his two grandkids. One is dark skinned, the other one, she looks like me. Just green eyes, and well, her eyes is more brownish, light brown with just, you know what I'm saying, a hint. But a lot of that is the way the way her mom is. You know what I mean? Her mom's dark skinned. Her mom was always jealous of me, thinking I had more, and she was gonna be like a gangster and everything. And then I remember her, just before she graduated, this was in the 80s, so she's old now, and with kids, but guys around here, I learned from the older guys, because I heard Heavy and Elroy, and like Heavy's like in the 70s, Elroy's closer to 80. What they used to do, and they learned from the older guys that came out of like the chain gangs, is when it was like Mississippi, like all our people come from Mississippi. We didn't have a border for a while. We had like Mississippi and Memphis, and we was trying to hold on to it. But anyway, so what they would do is they would, the little girls would, like, they would rape them, and like the parents would get mad at the females, and if they, but they would do a group rape, and basically like all those guys now, they don't even have sex with women. Like I shouldn't mention names, but Heavy has like prostate problems, because what happened was, when they get into that all boys and all that all thing, and they were doing all coke, and orgies, whatever, they had sex, end up, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, they end up like they're all on the down low. But the thing is, what happened with this girl was, she ended up getting group raped around. Here's a little game they play with some of the guys at Minchell High. They think they're gangsters. One guy, and he's usually a dark-skinned, good-looking guy, but, low self-esteem. And he all like, yeah, she just wants me because she think I got money. Ain't none of them have no job. They making about $3.50 thinking they selling drugs over here. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to go get it fronted from the dude, sell that, you know what I'm saying, and then they gotta go pay that dude back, and they get a profit. But they don't do the math, for how long they out there and what they have to do. They ain't making shit. Yeah, if you ain't paying rent or nothing, money build up. But anyway, so and then her brother and her father, mother, wasn't around, and he was, bro's like, I can't believe she went there. I can't believe she went there. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Because like they think, oh, it's just the smart girls. Well, it's not the smart girls that don't. And all females that, if you're a man and you holler at a woman, just think that. You know what I'm saying? That you know what I'm saying? After a while, like everybody's like, oh, you need a man. You need a man. No, I don't need a man. You know what I'm saying? That is not one of my survival needs. I need food, clothing, and shelter. You know what I'm saying? And But anyway, our whole sexual identity. Like I was saying, I don't even see why these men care. You know what I'm saying? They got inflatable dolls. They have all type of sex toys that are even shaped like vaginas. You know what I mean? So what difference does it make? You know what I'm saying? What difference does it make, or what they look like? You know what I mean? Because they play this game here, like, okay, I like you, so like, and you acting like you don't like me, so I'm gonna let you see me with somebody else. You know, so I guess I'm supposed to be jealous. Well, if I didn't like you, why do I care who you with? And the reason why I probably don't like you because you got a funky attitude towards me. And they act like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, yo, you look nice. And then, like, you're like, okay, thank you. You know. And next thing I'm like, oh, well, bitch, I'm trying to holler at you. Well, if the next thing come out your mouth is, well, bitch, you know I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? So, their whole mentality is that, I feel sorry, you know. I mean, like, I see some people trying to do stuff for kids, like, but really, the one thing kids do need is to have some rights. And talking about rights, it looks like in Ferguson, Missouri, you know, suburb of St. Louis, that they're saying that they didn't violate no civil rights. Yes, they did. First of all, when that sheriff came out, he wanted everybody to feel sorry for that policeman that had shot him. He didn't say sorry to the family or nothing, you know what I'm saying? And then they came out when the people were mourning, which is more disrespect, you know what I'm saying? And it just lets you know how those policemen were brought up, with no self-respect, you know, with thinking they were entitled to do stuff because of their skin color, and then realizing you're the lowest one on the pay raise. You know, the people that have money, that 1% that own 40% of the money, let me tell you something. The first thing they're going to do is going to be like what the Romans did. You know what I'm saying? If you is a traitor and a treason-ass attitude towards your own American people, even if you too ignorant, and there should be no excuse for ignorance under the law. Because you could pick up a book or you could just look around the same way everybody else was living and see reality. But if you're doing that, you know what I'm saying, you is the problem. That police are violating our civil rights, you know, by the type of harassment, murdering, and the other things that they do. You know what I'm saying? This is not Mexico. This is, you know what I'm saying, this is not the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them are the rest of the world is looking at us to see how democracy works. You know, and it looks, you know what I'm saying, you get feedback from other people in the country, and it's a disgrace. It's a damn right shame. You know what I'm saying? We got a murderer running around. Now, he talking about he was in fear of his life. The last thing you want is a mammal that's talking about, oh, I'm high on my adrenaline. Well, you know, we all have adrenaline. Unless the police think they something special. So, if they can use their excuse, well, it was my adrenaline, you know what I'm saying, why isn't that person that you're arresting allowed to have adrenaline? You know what I'm saying? You know, we have to bend over and have, you know what I'm saying, like this state right here would look like Detroit. If it wasn't for the import and export, for this being, you know what I'm saying? Because we have the same type of policing, we have the same type of government, we have the same type of mindset. And our schools are just pumping out, you know, these little boys that either are going to be a policeman or they're going to be selling, you know, be a gangbang. Now, why isn't there anything in between? Or we don't have any guys that could be architects or engineers or you know, a captain on a cruise ship or anything. But you know what I'm saying? It's that they're going to be playing football or basketball. Well, that's fine and dandy. You know. But have you ever thought about sports medicine? Have you ever thought about the other parts that go along with it? You know what I'm saying? It ain't all get out. And what do the little girls have to be? Cheerleaders? What do they learn how to dance on a pole? What jobs are they going to get? So after their teenage years of prostitution and having then in their 20s have a couple of kids, and then all at once they all want to be in the medical field or work as a jailer. You know what I'm saying? And before you get to the doctor, you got to see those people, those women that have an attitude that where they ain't nothing but somebody's furniture. Something like a toilet for a man to come in. And then this ignorant old guy, who's 72 years old, said the way you get rid of syphilis, somebody, sucks it out of your penis. Have you ever heard of antibiotics? And why would you suck all those? Because if you ever look at, like syphilis, gonorrhea, even AIDS under the microscope, right? Syphilis, it looks like ticks. They go on and attach to different parts of your body, like heights in your kidney or prostate for guys, balls, whatever, and it grows. It's like having microscopic cockroaches or microscopic ticks, or they look like worms, and they're live, they move. You know what I'm saying? So the whole idea of the way, it doesn't surprise me that women are hitting their kids. They're not hitting their kids to teach them or disciplining them. They're hitting them because, you know what I'm saying? I think, it's just like in the Middle East. If the guy just rapes you, or like in Africa, those Muslims, what they're doing is a damn shame. The Arabs and the Africans, you know what I'm saying? If we wouldn't have no modern society if it wasn't for it's just like Einstein. He had to share his award for what was it that he got for was it peace or anyway he got honored in a big award for doing nuclear bomb, but it was his wife that really did it. All we ended up was a syphilis ass pervert up here in the United States. But you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I didn't go to the damn party, which I wasn't going to go anyway. But, you know what I'm saying? But if somebody had talked to me all correct, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I used to go out clubbing when I was younger. I was, you know what I'm saying? In this world, like you wake up and you find out there's really, there's nothing here, paradise is killed. Wildlife is gone. You couldn't go. Like, I knew they were going to catch that guy that shot that up in Pennsylvania. My sister has a house up there, so I was, a tad bit concerned, but not really. But you know what I'm saying? You can't live off the land. You got to go to the grocery store. There's wildlife up there, but they survived through a lot of massacres. White men coming here and just clearing out everything. There's no more ammo fields or it's nothing the same. It's just a bunch of cement and whatnot. But my biggest hope is that we will stop hitting our kids. So we stop having, stop teaching them to hit, and that maybe that the men will have learn to have a little self-respect for themselves, and be more and that when boys start having sexual experience, that they start going to the doctors, get your scrotum checked. If you're going to be putting your penis in something and you're acting like it's some type of prize to get, well, maybe you need to start putting away a lot of your childish wants and toys and do some stuff like a grown-up.